has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. So Mark Zeno joins us, and he's just an official badass all around. Everything that he has done as a at what level? You were a colonel? Did you get to a colonel in the Army? I mean,
I'm still a colonel.
You're still obviously.
Yeah.
You're still doing a lot, and I know you're doing a lot with vets, and I know you're doing your vets and players. I know you did a big thing this week with the women. I just think it's fantastic what you've done. I've known you for a while, from my days in Atlanta, and always looked up to you for what you did, your service to this country, and you knew that. And you and I were friends, and I think we kind of hooked up along the way. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing this cool betting thing now. You should check it out. And now you've blown up, and you're doing all kinds of betting content on all kinds of different levels and networks. And I'm super proud of you. But I don't really care about that. I already know you're great at doing TV and great at picking games and betting. What I care about is your service and what you've done for this country and what you mean to veterans and what you do for veterans on an everyday basis in the midst of your career when you're so busy. How do you do it all? And what has it meant to you and your heart and your mind and your soul?
Well, first of all, thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. It's always great to be with you. And listen, thanks for being a mentor and a friend for a long time in this industry. Not many of those around, so I appreciate the ones that I do have.
Pleasure's mine, dude.
Look, it's crazy when I think about it. I've been, in the military now for 25 years. I've been in uniform more of my life than not. If you include my ROTC time, it's been almost 30 years, and I put a uniform on as an 18-year-old kid in college during ROTC and haven't taken it off since. So, it's just been such part of the fabric of my life and everything that I've done. And for one way or another, one reason or other, whether it's active duty, whether it's National Guard or now in the reserves, it just, that part of my life has always given me back to me. I love what I do. I love serving and I love being in uniform and I love leading soldiers, but I get so much more in return for that. So, whether it's been in combat or just in meetings or in training, physical training, whatever it may be, standing side by side with other folks who are in uniform, who've dedicated our life to service is something that's really special to me and something that's unique, and you can't find it anywhere else. I mean, it's really telling that there are guys who I deployed with 10, 15 years ago that, if the phone rang and they called, whatever I would be doing, I would drop everything I'm doing just to be there for them in a moment. Or if I cross paths with them, somewhere, we would just pick up right where we left off and start laughing and telling jokes. And there'd be this instant connection and this bond and this camaraderie that you can't really find anywhere else in any other service, any other industry, any other, level of profession. And that's just what being a soldier is all about. So, this has always been personal and passionate to me. I know at some point in time, I'm going to have to take the uniform off. And, I kind of get a little bit scared and a little bit nervous about that day just because, after doing it for so long, it's been such a big part of who I am that, am I still the same person without the uniform on? So, hopefully we still got a couple of years left. We'll continue to serve as long as we can until Uncle Sam says they don't need me anymore. And we'll hang it up eventually and call it a career and be proud and lucky and fortunate that I was able to do it for so long.
Yeah, my uncle was a lieutenant in the Air Force. He got huge in Colorado Springs. Even after he done with service, he was teaching at Colorado Springs at Air Force. And then my buddy's son is at West Point right now in his second year at West Point, and he's turning into an animal and a badass in his own right. And my son is at San Diego State, and he's got a roommate who's in ROTC. And he said to me when he was home for Thanksgiving, he goes, I got this kid in my room, and he's my roommate. And he gets up at 5 a.m. every day, and he goes to this thing called ROTC. And I said, listen, he's a badass. I already know what he's doing. My son didn't understand what that was and what it meant. But when you started that way, look at who you became when you started in ROTC. So I'm proud of that kid.
I mean, you haven't really lived until you've gotten up hungover for physical fitness in ROTC, or you just stayed up the whole night after drinking to go to physical fitness and try to make it through. You haven't lived until you're sweating actual liquor out of your arms on a 4-mile battalion run, and you just lick your forearm. You're like, oh my God, I smell terrible right now. Like
tequila.
Yeah, exactly. When you're that young and you're an ROTC, even when I was commissioned, there were some wild nights with me and a bunch of other lieutenants where we just kind of, we're 21, 22 years old and dumb, and we did things like that. But, you learn from those mistakes. You learn that it's not as much fun as it sounds. You laugh at it now, but some of those runs were pretty miserable back in the day.
Well, he's at West Point now, and I saw him over the holidays, and I was like, you're going to be an animal when they're done with you there. What an education he's getting at West Point. I thought it was great seeing them play Tulane in the dark down by the river last week and kicking their ass. Before I ask you about the game, tell everybody where you've been around the world in tours and service.
Yeah, I mean, I did my 2 long tours in Baghdad. So I was there. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Kandahar. I've been to Bagram. I've been all over the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, Yemen, UAE, Dubai. I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of these amazing places in the world. I've traveled all over the United States and everything else. I mean, it just, I've been very fortunate in that sense where I've been afforded the opportunity to see all these places and do all these things. And look, I mean, you get to ride in cool helicopters and, hang out in big trucks and push buttons and blow things up and shoot big guns. I mean, I know that sounds like stupid and stuff, but it's part of the experience. Like, it's just, it's cool when you fire a 50 caliber sniper rifle and you can hit a target that's, over 1,000 meters away and basically obliterate the target. It's pretty cool to see. It's pretty fun to do if you ever get the experience. Yeah, I'll never forget when I fired one of the Gatling guns, the ones that spin, one of those things that put out 300 rounds, a minute. And, it's insane. Just the awesome toys that we got to play with. So thank you for all your tax dollars, everybody. And let everybody know, rest assured, it's going to good use.
What's the scariest thing that you've ever been through in the Army?
I mean, look, there are certain combat scenarios that I've been through that, kind of still stay with me to this day. I mean, I've been in vehicles that have rolled over IEDs. I've been blown up. You've been in firefights where bullets are whizzing by your head. I've been in every sort of situation, not every situation imaginable, but from my scope, what I was asked to do, it felt like I ran into everything that was possible. But those things just kind of come with the territory. I think when it comes with it, at the time, you don't know what you're walking into, and you don't know what you don't know until you get into it. All you do is rely on your training, rely on, the man and the woman to the left and the right of you to make sure that they are there, that you're covering their back and they're covering yours. And if you do everything right, hopefully everybody comes out alive. Fortunately for me, I was able to do that. I was able to bring everybody home. And, because of that, I'm very proud of what I've done and continue to take those same sort of ideas and mantras going forward.
So what you're saying is doing all of your sports betting, TV work and radio work is really brutal for you compared to going all over the world and firing at people from 1,000 meters away. So who do you like in Army Navy tomorrow with the dump in Landover, Mark?
Yeah. Look, the last time we saw this much offense on the field where Army and Navy were both involved was in Afghanistan in 2001. So I expect a lot of points here. I genuinely do. I lean Army here minus the points. I know, people are betting Navy and it's getting bet down here, but look, I think Bryson Daly to score 2 touchdowns is a great prop bet. He scored 2 touchdowns in every game this year with the exception of one, the second game of the year against FAU. Even the game where they only scored 14 against North Texas, he ran both touchdowns in. The game where they only scored 14 against Notre Dame, he ran both them in. So he is everything for Army. If they're inside the 10-yard line, he's the guy getting the ball. He's going to get into the end zone twice here. I think his rushing yards prop is worth it. And I think we go over, guys. I like Army team total over 23.5 as well.
Listen, thank you for everything you've done for our country. You're a badass, Mark. I love you.
Love you, Scotty.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Road management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was Patrick, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, so ranking the starting quarterbacks for the college football playoff teams. Can we show this at all? The graphic. Here you go. Dylan Gabriel on top. Would you argue with any of this, Cam?
I don't know. Cade Klubnik, it's number 2. That might be a little bit high. I'm not sure. Like, he's good, but I don't know if he's the second best there. Ewers, Curtis Rourke had a really good year for Indiana.
He's not better than Ward Klubnik. Must be tripping this list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the hottest quarterback right now on the list is Sam Levitt of Arizona State, but I don't think Klubnik's number 2. I disagree with that. I don't mind Gabriel at the top, but no, I disagree with the list.
Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork said that he absolutely is confident that Ryan Day will be back next season. What could be worse? Brian Kelly announces that he and his wife will match up to $1 million in NIL donations from the fans. Dan Mullen has agreed to a 5-year deal to become the new head coach at UNLV for the Rebels. I thought he did a great job on ESPN partying and tailgating on Thursdays, drinking and eating wings and doing all that. I thought he was relatively funny. I thought he had a blast, and I thought it came off making him look really good, to be honest with you, with Matt Berry. I thought Berry and him together were pretty good together on the road in some meaningless games. Christmas comes early for football fans on Saturday, December 21st. You got SMU, Penn State, Clemson, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio State, along with this, Texans, Chiefs, and Steelers, Ravens in the NFL on Saturday, December 21st. That's coming up next Saturday. Travis Hunter wins the AP College Football Player of the Year, the Blitnikoff for top receiver, the Bednarik for top defensive player, and the Walter Camp Player of the Year award. And tomorrow, he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Jalen Walker of Georgia wins the Butkus as the top linebacker. Cam Ward of Miami wins the Davey O'Brien as the top quarterback. And Austin Jenney of Boise State wins the Doak Walker. What did you think of Travis Hunter, how he got all those awards? And you know he's going to get that Heisman.
He's been amazing, Scott. And, to do it as a two-way player and to do it that effectively under the microscope of being a Colorado Buffalo, yeah, he's a lock. I know a lot of people thinking Genty, the Boise State running back, is going to be there, but no, it's all about Hunter. And, hey, man, this he's something special. I can tell you, whoever gets him in the NFL is going to be very, very happy. We'll see what happens What do you think, Scott? Do you think Dion and his kid are going to go? Like, I know they've been talking about the Raiders forever. We'll see what happens there. That's an interesting situation. Wants to end up in Vegas.
Well, yeah, he wants to end up there, and I think it sounds to me like, Dion gets his way with everything he does, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if they figure a way to pull it off. If I were the Giants and I knew that this guy wanted no part of my franchise and didn't want to be involved with the New York Football Giants at all and hated the thought of it and would be miserable if they drafted him, why in the F would I draft a guy that wants nothing to do with my team and franchise? I'd go with Cam Ward if I were the Giants. Number 3, Iowa State comes back to beat Iowa, 89-80 at Carver Hawkeye in Iowa City. We gave you the Cyclones -5.5, and they got it done. Curtis Jones had 23. Joshua Jefferson, 19 and 10 boards, 7 dimes, a block, a steal. He played great, Jefferson. Iowa led at the half by 7, but Iowa State outscored them 52-36 after the break. The Cyclones mean business. And Texas ruled by New Mexico State. They rolled them 91-67 in Austin. The Longhorns were up at the half, 52-27. Now, let's look at tonight's college basketball, and it's lame, but Saturday isn't. So tonight you got Army and GW in D.C., Georgia Southern's at Louisiana Tech. Only one good game. Indiana at Nebraska in Lincoln. And South Dakota State is in Boulder against the Buffs in Rado. Listen, I'm on these 2 games right here. The Indiana-Nebraska game. I need the Hoosiers I got them with 4 on the road. Now, don't F this up and go to Lincoln and lose to this team. Indiana is loaded with talent. The problem is they can't shoot, they don't rebound, they don't hustle. But the other night against Minnesota, they kicked their ass, and they finally played their asses off. Play like that, and you can win this game in Nebraska, in Lincoln, against a Husker team that nobody knows anything about. Indiana is supposed to be good, even though they're not. And then I love Tad's team in Boulder to handle their business against South Dakota State tonight. What do you think, Cam?
No, I kind of agree with you, Indiana, but it's night and day, road-home dichotomies with these teams. It's amazing how bad they can be on the road. Watch out, though, Scott. I like Colorado, too, but those South Dakota State Jackrabbits, take a look. Pretty good program, cover a lot of numbers, but Colorado, tough place to play, should be able to get it done.
All right, let's look at Saturday. How about this one? Number 8, Gonzaga against number 18, Connecticut. I mean, that's a fantastic game on Saturday. Are you into that one?
I am. You know what? I'm going to take UConn at home, getting 3.5 in this spot. I know they haven't been as good, as dominant as we thought they were going to be, but I think this is a huge game for them. They step up. They're at home. They're getting points. I like them outright.
It's at the Garden, that game.
Oh, yeah, at MSG. But it doesn't matter because UConn knows Big East tournaments and stuff like that. It's fine. They'll be fine at the Garden. I will take them. I will take the 3.5 with the Huskies.
All right, so rivalry game Saturday, Xavier and Cincinnati in the Queen City, and UCLA, Arizona, and I believe they're playing that game. That's the Hall of Fame game, that Arizona-UCLA game, and they're playing that game at the Footprint Center in Phoenix. Mafia vomited outside that arena.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I haven't been. I know Morency went to Arizona too. He tells me the sports books. There's a lot of things to like. I got to get down to Arizona. Always go to Vegas. You know what? Give me the Wildcats in that spot, Scott. In the other game, it's a rivalry game. Cincinnati, Xavier, they hate each other. I got to believe the Bearcats get it done. But, weird things happen in these type of games.
I'll take the 7.5 points with Xavier. They're good.
Oh, yeah, I like Xavier. Yeah, go Musketeers, buddy. I remember the last time, Scott, a couple of years ago, they had like a brawl and stuff. Cincinnati and Xavier, like literally everything there, but like it's going to be like jackknives, foreign objects, like a wrestling match. Watch out. Lots of blood.
That's awesome. Bring the shank to the game Saturday. We'll talk about all the rest of the games when we come back.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all. Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Bobby is just talking about how disappointed he is in Cam and I at some of the horrific conversations we just had in a 2-minute break.
He sounded disgusted, actually. You bunch of clowns. We're brutal, Scott. We're brutal. Not just his parents.
I hear him, he goes,
Hey,
coming back in
kid,
3,
go party.
2, 1.
One. He's like, I'm a
Here we
good
go.
father.
Louisville and Kentucky on Saturday, and I believe, let me get this straight, is that game, I think it is at Rupp, and I could be wrong. It is at, it's in Lexington at Rupp. Louisville at home, 10.5. Do you think they cover that point against Louisville? Louisville's been pretty tough.
I can't take 10.5. It's Louisville or nothing in that game. And, that's a lot of points, Scotty. I thought that line would be probably like 7.5. Seems a little bit heavy.
I think they've come back down to earth, though, Louisville, after beating Indiana in the Bahamas. I'm going to go Kentucky at home. I thought their win in Seattle at the Climate Pledge against Gonzaga was all I needed to see. I'm impressed by them. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State at IBA Arena in Stillwater, and they're getting 4.5 at home. Can they beat the 13th ranked Sooners?
I don't know. I've been brainwashed doing in-game live with Joe Ranieri, how much that school he just detests. Baseball legend there, Scott. But I'll tell you, the Oklahoma State Cowboys in football put this guy in orbit. I like those home dogs, though. I'd take a look with the Pokes in a rivalry game.
They're playing that game in Oklahoma City where the Thunder play. It's at the Paycom. I just noticed that now. Give me Oklahoma. That'll be that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So let's go. Other top 25 games. Memphis and Clemson. That's at Little John. And Clemson's laying 6.5. I think that number's too big. Memphis is tough. A&M's at West Lafayette against the Boilers. No one wins there. Purdue will win that game. Ohio State's at Neville. They're going to lose at Neville. Auburn, and that clearly is not the right spread. It's got to be Auburn laying 9.5 to Ohio State. Ohio State's unranked. Auburn's the number 2 team in the country. Auburn is going to beat the snot out of Ohio State at Neville. And then Wisconsin and Butler at the Hinkle in Indy. I like the Badgers on the road there. I've already seen Butler cable in their pants this year. And NC State, Kansas at Fog Allen, they'll get every call. I think Kansas will win that game. They haven't played a good game in a month, Kansas. They're going to take it out on NC State and beat their ass and sleep with their
Isn't it amazing, Scott? It's amazing. Like, yeah, you got the Kansas Jayhawks at home, every call in the books, you know, the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Like, it's just some things. Just saying. Just saying.
Right. I'm with you. I'm completely with you. You know those games. Do you have any other feelings on those games that I just gave? The Memphis,
I agree with
Purdue,
you.
Auburn, Wisconsin.
Memphis plus 6.5. I like Purdue at home as well. That's a tough place to play. I would lay it down with Auburn. Not sure if they're going to cover. Wisconsin, tough game against Butler, but yeah, they should get it done. And I want to take NC State, but you talk it. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. They'll get a lot of calls in that game and probably just cover the number.
All right, the next rack of ribs, we've got Arizona State and number 9, Florida. Now, from what I'm seeing there, this game is at that tournament as well. I believe this game is in Atlanta at State Farm where the Hawks play. Florida laying 7.5 to Arizona State on the road. Florida's good.
They are good. I don't, man. Having to win by 8 on the road?
It's too many points.
It is. I'm sorry. I'm down with home dogs especially in college basketball. I got to take the points with the Sun Devils. Illinois, Tennessee. What do you think, Scott? Do you like Tennessee on the road there?
Well, first of all, like I said, the game is in Atlanta, so it's neutral court. But I think it's too many points to give Arizona State. The Tennessee-Illinois game is actually in Champaign-Urbana. The number 1 balls are going to see Illinois. I think Tennessee beats Illinois even on their home floor.
I agree with you there. In the next game, I didn't tell you, Scott, one of my favorite college basketball teams since a child has been the Dayton Flyers. I've always had a I love that team ever since I was a kid. I don't know why I do, but that's going to be a tough one. I will take Dayton against Marquette in that game. That game's got to be at Dayton because if it was on a neutral site, Marquette would be laying like 5.5. So I'm giving the Dayton Flyers.
That's a nice upset play. I'm with you. I'm going to go for it with you with the 1.5 and Dayton at home in their arena. That's where they play the NCAA play-in games. Creighton is at Alabama. Creighton has looked good when they had the big upset already this year at home in Omaha, but I don't like them against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I'll take the Tide here.
I agree with you. There could be a romp.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today. only on SportsGrid.
Great sportsbook consigliere is here. Thank God. Dave Sherapan, a good Pittsburgh boy, out in Sin City. Look at him with that Steeler hat on. He knows how to show up. Look at that sweet jersey. Now, listen, I ordered myself a look at that. I mean, I'm jealous. I'm just so jealous. Just stop. I just ordered the Tomlin hoodie, and I got Young Chop Steeler snow cap, and I got Gunner a fringy, eclectic Steeler hoodie, badass with all kinds of stuff on it. I can't even describe. I went to the Steeler Pro Shop and went crazy for Christmas. As you know, I'm going to the Bengal game, and I'm going to the playoff round. My tickets went from decent to exorbitant instantaneously. But I have to tell you, first of all, thank you for your boy Reno, my man Reno, at the Willie, at the 5-star Willie, your boy Reno. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, so I stayed there when my father died, right? And I've stayed there many times in my life. It's a legendary 5-star joint in Pittsburgh. I stay
downtown
there, and it is. It's right across from the Steel Building. My father used to stay there when he had corporate meetings in the, in the morning early. And I've been, the place is enormous and it's crazy. It's a really wild place. The pool's haunted. I don't know if you knew that, but they have all kinds of crazy stuff there that they say the place is haunted and all this other. Now I love that place, and your boy has just done me up like exorbitantly. Thank God for you that you set me up with this dude. Like, this guy has more juice than a guy in Florida picking oranges. I mean, honestly, this guy is linked.
Yeah, this is one of those things that, first of all, it's great to see you as always, and thanks for having me on the show. But Pittsburghers, you never forget where you came from. I've been out in Vegas, 21 years, but I always say it all the time. You can take the kid out of Pittsburgh, but you can't take the Pittsburgh out of the kid. And one of the best things about going home and going back to visit is there are people there that knew you before you were anybody and are still friends with you. And Reno was one of the best center fielders that I ever played with. We went to school together since we were little kids. We played more football on the street in Green Tree, and then, he played at Keystone Oaks. He couldn't skate. I played hockey, but we played baseball together for a long, long time. We've been friends. He went to Robert Morris, so he stayed home. Bobby Moe, and he really, listen, when you texted me that night, I was worried about you. I almost told my wife, I got to get on a flight and go find Ferrall because I know where he's at. He ain't supposed to be there. So I called Reno and I said, listen, you got to help this guy out as a favor to me. And now you guys are friends. If you try, I'm not sure who's going to put who under the table if the drinking goes on with the two of you. But when that happens, I might have to make the trip and just sit there and officiate and watch it.
So
because that will be legendary.
So listen to this. So this guy, I'm in this. When you go to Steeler games, it's sold out. The city's sold out. You can't get them. I'm in this crack-infested place, and my buddy, I'm like, what have you done to me? I go, what is happening here? I said, I can't have this. I said, the guy, I can't even understand the guy. There's no ice. They don't have towels. I said, there's probably bed, but I said, I'm Ferrall. I said, I can't stay here. I go, dude, like, what is this? There's hookers in the lobby. I go, I gotta do better than this for my own sanity. And so I called Sheriff Ann, and in 5 minutes I was at the Willie bed. I mean, to tell you, and since then I'm like, Reno, listen, I am giving this guy more business. I'm there every week. I got rooms all the way through the new year. He is just the coolest guy ever. So thank God for you. Like I said, I stayed there when my dad died, and I lived there for like a week, and everything about it, the tap room, the place is just badass. Thank God for you. Now let's get down to business. The Steelers are playing Eagles. My buddy called me up. He goes, I can't wait for Sunday when the Eagles are going to put it on your Steelers. And I'm like, I'm going to punch you in the face. I hate you and your family and your children. The Steelers are going to win. I hate all of you.
It's one of those weeks. Like, they don't come often enough. I love when the Pittsburgh and Philly stuff comes back because I've been out of it being out west and in Vegas.
Right.
And this reminds me of why we live and breathe football in the state of Pennsylvania. This is why that other side of the state, we can root for them because, listen, the ultimate dream from the time I was a little kid was to see a Steagle Super Bowl. Steelers versus Eagles in some really nice, warm place, neutral, where everybody could go, argue it out. Listen, if it happens, it's on track. You look at the odds to win the conferences. The Eagles are the second choice. They got a little easier of a road, but the Steelers have been above expectations all season long. They're 10-3 against the number, okay? 10-3 is tied for the best record against the spread in all of football. So you can call you a homer, you can call me a homer, but you can call me and tell me I'll take 6. Like, this line is 6. It's insane. It can't be. This is a field goal game. Listen, if the Eagles get them today, you know what I can't wait for? Monday, I made some bets for some people when I do Bostonia versus the book, which we just did, by the way. We celebrated our 3-year anniversary today. Matt put together an unbelievable highlight tape of the show.
Great show.
You appeared 3 times in the highlight tape. The Ferrall appearances were legendary. The chat was going crazy. The brigade was like, we need more Ferrall. So I said, listen,
I love
if we
you
can
guys.
figure out how to get them on Monday, if the Steelers win and we just turn the mic on and let you go, that'll be great.
Listen,
I think 6 is good. 6 is good.
I like all the shows on SportsGrid. I love SportsGrid. But you guys are freaks, and I have a special bond with you guys, and I love going on your show. It's incredible. Let me tell you this. So the day of the playoff weekend, which is it's the 11th and 12th.
Yeah,
and then Monday would be the 13th. That's that weekend. Now, the Monday the 13th, there's going to be a Monday night wild card game, and I don't even know if it's the Steelers. All I know is I'm going that weekend to Pittsburgh, no matter what, to the playoff game because I already bought the tickets. Now, listen to this. Saturday at 5 o'clock, they're playing the Senators 4 o'clock Saturday, Senators, PPG Pens. And Sunday, 5 o'clock, if the game were at 1, at 5 o'clock, they're playing Tampa at PPG. Back-to-back, Sens and Lightning. And the last time I was there, I went to see the Sharks in Celebrini, and I dropped $500 just walking in the door. And I've already dropped $1,000 to go to both of those games that weekend. I mean, I'm losing weight over here. I'm losing weight.
They're playing better, though. Like, I was worried at the beginning of the season. The Penguins were a go against. And right now, they're working on things. They're figuring it out. We're getting some decent goaltending. I was ready to pack it in and say, this isn't the way the kid's supposed to end his career. You can't let Crosby and Malkin and Letang go out like this. We're hovering. We're hanging around. One more playoff run would be great. But, I mean.
You like Tomasino on that team that they've added?
Yeah. I don't know.
Brian Rust with a hattie last night. Did you watch the game? I was screaming.
Screaming about Soto getting that contract and the Pirates never being competitive again.
The Cobra's in the Hall of Fame.
Thank God. No, seriously. He was my favorite player. My first favorite player as a kid. Dave Parker in the Hall of Fame. I hope he's able to enjoy it, give his speech. Mike Easler's a hitting coach out here at the cages where I take the kids.
Hitman.
The Hitman is here. Where's the Pirate stuff? We bond over that team. Nothing better than the 79
I love you more than all others. That's my guy, Sheriff.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
So I do this show on Saturdays for fun on my website with Tony Bruno, right? I've been friends with Tony forever. You know, he's a legend. And the other guy is in Turks and Caicos on a 2-week vacation. He just got there yesterday. And I'm like, this guy's crying about his internet as he's laying down in turquoise waters and eating 5-star fish dinners at the 5-star resort that costs $5,000 a night. I'm like, listen, stay out of. You saw what I said to him. Like, my language was just terrific. I
enjoyed it.
I was like, I don't want to hear about your problems, bro, down there in Turks and Caicos. I mean to tell you, the language I just dropped was horrific. But man, do I love Dave Sherapan. He is a gem. What a one of a kind that guy is. I got to tell you, man, I like hanging out with him. Weirdest thing, though, I haven't seen him. Last couple times I went to Vegas, I didn't see him. I've seen him there a few times when I go, and he is just a blast to be around. This guy is nothing but trouble. I love him, and I think the world of him and Matt and Bostonian the Book and all their fans. It's a great show. Keep doing your thing, guys. I believe in you. All right, here we go. Devin Williams, Cam, and you know how I feel about Cam and Gabe, my two Canadian boys. They're badasses extraordinaire. I got 25 years with friendship with them, but I don't care about your teams. I care about the Yankees getting Williams, the guy that gave up that long ball to Alonso and never lived it down. I think he will be great for the Yankees, though. Now they have a legitimate closer again. It's not Mariano Rivera, but I think it's a bold, strong move by the Pinstripers. No questions asked.
Agreed. The guy had like a bad inning there, and he was throwing a lot, Scotty. I think it's a great move by the Yankees, too. Like, it's one of those situations. This guy is very, very solid, and they have to do something. Hey, don't worry about Morency's teams. This guy cheers for the damn Dodgers. The guy's like I'm living in hotels with dead people in the walls smelling like old weed. This guy's living in 5-star places. Like, what are you talking? Feel sorry for this guy. I make a comment about the Blue Jays, and they shut me down. I got hired goons at my door when I go for a walk. What are you saying there, Stuart? Yeah, I got goons in the parking lot here in my complex. Can you believe that I bought a foot massager for my dad and some idiot like stole it off my porch? I'm the only idiot in my complex that doesn't even have a camera. So yeah, I don't want to hear about your problems there, Turquoise Waters, the guy you're doing your show with. Tell him, suck it.
Turquoise. Hate your guts. Kyle Tucker traded from the Astros to the Cubs. He told you earlier. Here's what the Astros get. Isaac Paredes, the third baseman. Great deal. Hayden Wesneski, the pitcher. I like that for the Astros as well. And then they don't have to pay the big bucks to Tucker in a new contract, as his contract was going to be up at the end of the year. Plus, they get a prospect, Cam Smith. This is a huge deal. I know for a fact that the Yankees wanted Tucker. They were trying to get him. They couldn't pull it off. Obviously, I think the Astros were kind of toying with him. I think they acted like they were talking to him, and actually what they were doing was playing him. They gave him to the Cubs, the furthest from the Yankees you could find.
Good call, Scotty. And that move for the Yankees is good. I think about this, too. The Blue Jays, they lost their reliever to the Phillies, Jordan Romero. He's gone. So, it's very good. And it's going to be key. That's the whole thing with the lineup like that. You could shorten the game. But you're right. He got played there. And that's the thing about the Astros. They always linger. They're never out of things. They'll find a way to be competitive every damn year. I hate it, too. God, my teams suck.
I hate the Astros. I hate the Dodgers. The Dodgers auctioned off the baseball that Aaron Judge dropped during Game 5 of the World Series for $43,000 and change.
Yeah, Morency bought it.
That is like insulting. They did that on purpose because they're massive Ds. Like that they auctioned off that ball. Like just the fact that they did that. I mean, I'm just going to hold that in my back pocket as revenge for the future. I don't care if it's in 20 years. I don't care if I'm 80 years old. 20 years from now, and the Yankees meet the Dodgers in the World Series, I'm going to remember that ball that they auctioned off to Judge drop. I have never seen a worse drop in my life than that line drive right in his glove that he dropped. I will never forget that as long as I live. And the fact that they auctioned it off, I hate the Dodgers even more now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you, this guy, other than the Bills, it's all coming up here. That Dodger season, and man, Scotty, the rich keep on getting richer with all the guys they got. It just drives me nuts. Just my team is so bad.
All right, here's Juan Soto, who we also hate on this show now forever. Here he is talking about how he is a mercenary and he did it all for the money.
The Mets is a great organization, and what they have done in the past couple of years, showing all the ability to keep winning, to keep growing a team, to try to grow a dynasty is one of the most important things. Definitely,
World Series.
What you were seeing from the other side was unbelievable, and the buzz and everything in the field and the future that this team has has a lot to do with my decision.
Well, I hate you, and now I'd like to see what you have to say about your former teammates who you screwed over and never said a word to after you left. What do you have to say about that?
Been in touch with anybody from your former team, and can you share what those conversations with your now former team, the Yankees, and could you share what those conversations might have been like?
I haven't talked to any of those guys. Definitely.
Because you're a D.
We talked to them through playoffs, at the end of the playoffs, but after that, I make this process. I haven't talked to any of those.
You're a D-head. I hate you.
He's all business.
Yeah, I'm not having this guy. The Mets plan to induct David Wright into the team's Hall of Fame on July 19th and retire. Mafia, don't give me the finger right now. I see you giving me the finger. Stop it. Stop it. Drink your whiskey. Stop it. I hate you too. Forever. I will never like you. I never did. I've been with Mafia for 20 years. He's laughing right now because he's a Mets fan. I hate your guts and your family and everyone else. Wander Franco's trial in the Dominican Republic is postponed until June 2nd, when he'll be put away for life in prison for raping all kinds of girls, allegedly. I think that covers the story.
Tough prison system.
When we come back, we're going to have an opportunity to at least talk hockey, which is all that matters in life. I got to tell you, Cam, I've been watching a lot of hockey lately. I watched that Penguin game last night. It was sexual for me. Watching them win 9-2 at the Bell Center, I almost had a stroke.
Exactly. Poor Montreal fans. They're gonna honestly, if this keeps up, there's gonna be death in the streets. That's unacceptable to have fans.
Screw their fans. Screw Montreal. It was a great night for me. Who cares about them?
Montreal.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set, to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Always a blast doing the show with the Prime Minister in the midst of all of his problems in Canada and his re-election problems against the right, as the left is having problems these days with the president-elect from the United States. We'll talk more about it on Monday. Right now, Golden Knights last night with a 3-2 overtime win in Ferrall over the Jets. Caps beat the Jackets in overtime. Caps have been unbelievable in the Metro. Riding the Metro. Leafs get by the Ducks 3-2 in Toronto. Can't believe they couldn't beat them by 2 goals, you femmes. Pens embarrass the Canadians 9-2 in Montreal. Rust with a hattie. Devils beat the Kings 3-1 at the Rock to stop the Kings 6-gamer. Flyers win 4-1 at home in Philadelphia over the Wings. Islanders at the horse track 5-4 over the Hawks. They barely beat them. Sharks with the upset of the night 4-3 over the Blues in the Arch City. Preds 4-1, another huge win for them in Dallas because they suck. I can't believe they beat the Stars. The Stars are hearing it today. Oilers all over the Wild 7-1 in St. Paul. What a drubbing. Utah upsets Colorado at the Ball Arena in the Mile High City 4-1. Didn't see that coming. Lightning big 8-3 at Saddle Dome. I like going to Cowboys hot chicks there. Canucks shut out the Panthers 4-0 in Vancouver for their first win at home in 5 years. JT Miller returned after a 10-game personal leave of absence and had 2 assists and a cold beer. And the smoke Kraken 5-1 over the Bruins in Seattle. Boston officially sucks.
I love it.
All right, tonight, Cam, Ottawa and Carolina in Raleigh. You see the fat number there. What do you do? Senators coming off a 5-1 win at home over the Ducks.
This sounds crazy, Scott, but ever since that Kachuk trade, the Senators absolutely went nuts the other night. Don't just bet on Carolina with that line, thinking they're going to blow them out. I'm actually looking at Ottawa plus 1.5 sprinkle bunny line. Over might be the play if you like the Senators. They score a lot of goals, but still are a little bit weak between the pipes. I like the over in the game. I'm going to take a shot with the big underdog.
So did you watch that Leafs game last night in Toronto that they barely beat the Ducks? How do the Leafs look these days to you? Austin Matthews has started scoring. I've watched them play. I saw the Penguins beat him. Bunning had the game-winning goal against them.
I like Bunning. I wish they never got rid of him. He's one of my favorite guys. I'll tell you this. The Leafs are not good. They got outplayed by the Devils. The New Jersey native Stolar stole the game. They weren't good against the Ducks. This team right now, Scotty, they're winning because their goaltender is playing well. They got to light a fire under their asses. You know what? They think they're better than they are. Time to figure it out, Toronto. You're not that good. Get better.
So the Capitals, what they've done in the Metro, do you think they're legit for real?
Yes, I do. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and made a move. All these guys are underrated on that team. They're getting goaltending. I got to tell you, Ovechkin too. Scott, I can't believe the Capitals are this good, but they're not going away. They're dangerous.
All right, Ferrall finish. Saudi Arabia is going to host the World Cup in 2034, and soccer in Saudi Arabia has blown up. It is absolutely enormous. I think Ronaldo has a lot to do with it, whether you like it or not. He's going to be a big part of it, not as a player, but selling it. He already is doing massive commercial spots for the World Cup in 2034. O.J. Simpson's porn collection from his time in prison is up for auction. This guy's gone, but he'll never go away. 27-year-old model guns down her husband inside a luxury oceanfront Florida condo in a gory murder-suicide. The 27-year-old supermodel getting involved, handling her business. New York City landlord and half-brother out on bail after allegedly beating a tenant to death with a baseball bat over a rent dispute. And I thought the Yankees had problems. Disgusted judge puts away a woman who ate a cat in her stomach. She ate a cat into her stomach. She swallowed a cat. The judge told her, "You've embarrassed this nation." Who eats a cat? Illinois cops bust Canadians who crossed the border with 1,100 pounds of cocaine worth $40 million. I think that is a strong effort by the Canadian Maple Leafs, who brought over tons of cocaine into America for everyone to ingest. A burglar steals a safe containing $400,000 after breaking into a luxury New York City apartment. That is a nice haul. Florida man shot down his own brother dead in a spat over a car and then killed himself to avoid prison time. What about the car? I mean, honestly, you had the car after you killed him. Then you kill yourself, you stupid ass. You should have at least driven the car around. I mean, my God, what are you thinking? You had it all under control, and then you effed it all up. Great job by the Prime Minister today, Cam Stewart Live. There's only one, Cam Stewart. Catch him tonight on SportsGrid. GTD is next. Get my app. Search Ferrall. Make money. Everyone digs it. We'll see you Monday at 3 on Coast to Coast. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Check out.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim to make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting Above the Rim, only on SportsGrid.